creative. So there are two options in the class, are to do either 2 CDs of human rights music, or they can draw, paint, sculpt, make their own DVDs, create poetry, write. They have to do something creative. And all of this artwork is what impacted them. They may be taken by a single theme of the Holocaust or the death penalty, or they may be on multiple themes. It just depends on what hits them. And they have to stand up in front of the class and talk about why did they do what they did? What moved them to create this? And of course, as you see it, they don't get to keep this. When they turn it in, it becomes property of the program, and so this is just a selection of their creativity.
Tonight, after listening to some of the students, especially one, explain her work based on her actual visit to a place where atrocities happened. So to me, that changed my perception of a piece. So it becomes something more personal. So in that sense, you know, I believe that art and life are the same. You know, they go hand in hand. So why not use the visual, like we use music, sound? I think they go hand in hand, art and life.
Part of our program is traveling, and we've traveled to Germany, and I've been to Poland, and while in Germany, this was conducted by the sites of euthanasia. My piece is about a particular location called Hartheim Castle in Austria, where I think, how many people was it? 38,000 or so disabled, handicapped people dead and burned right there in the crematorium in full sight of the townspeople. So it's a very
well, I would say there are over 1,000 pieces in his collection, and we have started to photograph everything, and we're going to have a catalog. And our main thing now is preservation, because it's really wasn't meant to be art, and it's deteriorating, and it's something he won't let go. So we want to find a way to preserve it. We'll do that through the pictures and getting into more archival storage.
Based on the turnout of the exhibit, I think it is something that people do care about. They are thinking about, and the more you put it out there, the more they will come out to say, we're here, we care, what about this or what about that? Because I just had a reporter ask me, you know, what about immigration issues? You know, why aren't there more works on immigration now and what's actually happening now? So I think this brings people to an awareness that something is needed, that you need to speak out. Things need to be said.
So this is sort of a stylized representation of the castle. It's supposed to represent ordinary Germans, basically, that may or may not believe this propaganda. And then there's a crematorium here. There are also some graves, some open graves on the site. There's the smoke coming out. There were reports many times of ashes falling on the town. Pieces of hair or bone could be seen. So, and this says, I believe in German, never again.
I think it's important to bring this type of work and these issues to the mainstream. I think we need to get it out to everybody, rather than, you know, many of us here have been preaching to the choir and trying to get it out to a wide audience. And art appeals to everybody, young and old.
My vision is that I know that we're getting ready to start the major in January, but ideally, in my mind, I think 10 years down the road, we ought to have a master's program, we ought to have a PhD program, a postdoc program. I think people ought to be able to come to SMU from high school, transfer from college, or come for graduate work to research, study, and publish in human rights. And my goal would be to have SMU be the preeminent human rights program at an academic institution in the country by the end of the next year.
not going to ask me that. I don't know.
What do you think is
that's
that?
way over my head. That's just way too existential.
Don't worry, Nathan edits out.
Yeah, that's why we have
I don't
editors.
know. It